Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's English grammar lesson. In this lesson, we're going to learn about the zero conditional, one of the most useful conditional structures in English. We use the zero conditional to talk about facts, scientific truths, general rules, habits, and situations that are always true. For example, if you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils, or if it rains, the ground gets wet. These situations happen every time the condition is met. Understanding the zero conditional will help you describe everyday facts and explain how things work in the world around you. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to recognize, understand, and use zero conditional sentences correctly and confidently in your speaking and writing. What is the zero conditional? The zero conditional is used to talk about things that are always true, such as facts, scientific truths, general rules, habits, and cause and effect relationships. When one action happens, another action always happens as a result. The zero conditional does not talk about the future, possibilities, or imagination. Instead, it describes situations that are generally true every time. Formula: if plus present simple, or present simple plus if plus present simple. Examples: if you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. Water boils if you heat it to 100 degrees Celsius. If it rains, the ground gets wet. The ground gets wet if it rains. Both sentence patterns have the same meaning. When do we use the zero conditional? 1. Scientific facts. We use the zero conditional to describe scientific facts and natural laws. Examples: if water reaches 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. If you freeze water, it becomes ice. If plants do not get sunlight, they die. If you drop an object, it falls to the ground. If metal gets hot, it expands. These facts are always true. 2. General truths. We use the zero conditional to talk about things that are generally true. Examples: if people exercise regularly, they stay healthy. If children eat too much candy, they get toothaches. If you don't sleep enough, you feel tired. If students study hard, they improve their grades. If people work hard, they often succeed. 3. Rules and instructions. The zero conditional is often used for rules and instructions. Examples: if customers need help, they ask the receptionist. If the alarm sounds, leave the building immediately. If you enter the library, you speak quietly. If students arrive late, they report to the teacher. If you use the laboratory, you wear safety glasses. 4. Habits and routines. We can use the zero conditional to describe habits or routines. Examples: if I wake up early, I go for a walk. If she feels stressed, she listens to music. If we eat at that restaurant, we order pizza. If he has free time, he plays football. If they visit their grandparents, they bring gifts. These actions happen regularly. 5. Cause and effect. The zero conditional can show a direct relationship between cause and effect. Examples: if you touch fire, it burns. If you press this button, the machine starts. If you don't water flowers, they die. If you drive too fast, you increase the risk of an accident. If people save money, they have financial security. More examples of zero conditional. Daily life. If I drink coffee at night, I can't sleep. If my phone battery gets low, I charge it. If I am hungry, I eat something. If I feel cold, I wear a jacket. If I have time, I read a book. School. If students ask questions, they learn more. If teachers explain clearly, students understand better. If you practice English every day, your speaking improves. If students cheat, they get punished. If you attend class regularly, you learn more. Health. If people eat healthy food, they stay healthy. If you exercise regularly, you become stronger. If you drink enough water, your body functions better. If you smoke, you damage your lungs. If you rest well, you feel energetic. Technology. If you turn off the computer, the screen goes black. If you forget your password, you cannot log in. If the internet connection fails, the website doesn't load. If you update the software, it runs better. If the battery dies, the phone turns off. Practice. Complete the sentences using the zero conditional. Question. If you don't water plants, blank. Answer. If you don't water plants, they die. Question. If people eat too much sugar, blank. Answer. If people eat too much sugar, they gain weight. Question. If students study hard, blank. Answer. If students study hard, they get good grades. Question. If ice melts, blank. Answer. If ice melts, it becomes water. Question. If I feel tired, blank. Answer. If I feel tired, I go to bed early. To conclude, the zero conditional is used to express facts, scientific truths, general rules, routines, and cause and effect relationships. Its structure is simple: if plus present simple, present simple. Remember that both parts of the sentence usually use the present simple tense because we are talking about situations that are always true. The zero conditional helps us explain facts clearly and naturally in English. Here are some useful tips for mastering the zero conditional. Think about whether the result always happens. If the answer is yes, the zero conditional is usually the correct choice. Use the present simple tense in both clauses. Remember that if can often be replaced by when because the result is certain. A practice by creating sentences about science, nature, school, health, and your daily routines. A listen for zero conditional sentences in conversations, movies, videos, and books to see how native speakers use them. My comment for learners is that the zero conditional is one of the easiest conditional forms to learn because it focuses on facts and reality. Once you understand this pattern, it will be much easier to learn the first, second, and third conditionals later. Keep practicing by making your own examples every day, and don't be afraid to use them in conversation. The more you practice, the more natural your English will become. Thank you for joining this lesson, and I look forward to learning with you again in the next lesson.